Hey, welcome to Chat Easy.
Yeah, English without the stress.
Okay. So I need to tell you what just happened to me 10 minutes ago. Like, literally 10 minutes ago. I was texting my neighbor about borrowing a ladder, normal stuff, and I wrote, I has a problem with my window, and I just sent it. I sent it before I could stop myself.
Oh no, Blake. I felt my whole body cringe just hearing that. I can imagine your face when you saw what you wrote. Did you just stare at your phone in silence? Because I would totally do that.
Yes! I stared at my phone for like 5 full seconds. My heart was beating so fast. Then I quickly sent another message saying, I have a problem, sorry. I tried to fix my have, but the damage was done.
Did your neighbor respond? Or did they just ignore the whole thing?
They responded. They were nice about it, but I still feel embarrassed.
I totally understand. But Blake, this happens all the time, even to people who speak English every day. Native speakers make these mistakes too when they are typing fast or feeling nervous. You are not alone in this.
I know, but here's the worst part. I actually know the rule. I teach myself grammar, I practice, but in that moment I panicked and my brain just shut down.
Yes, this is exactly why we need to talk about have, has, and had today. These three tiny words cause more confusion and panic than almost anything else in English. They look so simple, but they make people freeze.
Right, and if you are watching this right now and you have ever frozen mid-sentence, unable to choose between these words, this conversation will help you. I promise. We have been there too.
We will show you exactly when to use each one through real examples, not boring rules. Real moments, real mistakes.
And yes, I make another mistake later in this conversation, and Zara catches it immediately. You'll see it happen.
That is the beauty of reality. Mistakes happen, and we learn from them together. That is how language actually works in the real world.
So stay with us, relax, take a breath, and let's discover how to use these words without fear or overthinking. Are you ready?
So Blake, did you actually get the ladder after that whole text disaster?
Yes, I did. My neighbor was very kind about it. She did not mention the grammar mistake at all. She just said, sure, come get it whenever you want. Which made me feel relieved, but also a bit silly for worrying so much.
I completely understand that feeling. Last week, I had a similar moment when I was ordering coffee. I was standing in line, feeling tired, and when it was my turn, I just froze a little.
Wait, what happened? Tell me.
I told the barista I has been thinking about trying the caramel drink. And the moment it left my mouth, I heard the mistake. It was like my brain woke up 2 seconds too late.
Oh no, did the barista notice, or did they just keep going?
I do not think so. They just smiled, but I felt my face get warm anyway. You know that feeling when you think everyone heard your mistake, even if they probably did not?
Yes, it is so strange how these small words can make us feel so self-conscious, even though most people do not judge us for it. They're just listening to what we want, not how we say it.
Exactly. And here's the funny thing. We have probably both used have, has, and had correctly hundreds of times this week without even thinking about it. Like they just flow out naturally when we're not paying attention.
Wait, we have definitely been using them in this conversation already, right? I just said have myself.
Absolutely. You just used have twice in the last minute, and I used it too.
This is exactly why I want to talk about it today, because when we slow down and pay attention, we realize these words are everywhere, like truly everywhere.
They appear in almost every conversation, every email, every text message. We can't avoid them. They're part of how we connect ideas and share what we're experiencing.
I have noticed something interesting. When I'm relaxed, like right now, I use them correctly without thinking. But when I'm nervous or tired, I second-guess myself constantly. I stop mid-sentence and wonder, wait, is it have or has?
This is so common, Blake, and it actually shows our brains already know the patterns. We just need to trust ourselves more. The knowledge is already there.
Yes, so let's explore how these three words actually work, not in a boring way, but in a way that helps us stop doubting and start flowing. Does that sound good? Okay, let me ask you something, Zara. Why do we say I have, but he has? Why decided this? It feels so random sometimes.
I know, right? It does feel unfair, especially when we're learning. But there's actually a pattern here. Have is the base form, and it works with I, you, we, and they. It's like the default version that most subjects use.
Okay, let me try. I have a dog. You have a beautiful smile. We have plans tonight. They have 3 children. Yes, those all feel natural because the verb stays the same every time.
Exactly. The verb does not change. It just sits there comfortably with all of those subjects. But then we have has, which is the special version that only appears with he, she, and it.
So it is like he has a car, she has 2 jobs, it has a red roof. The word changes just for those 3.
Yes, and the tricky part is remembering to switch when the subject changes. Our brains have to notice who we are talking about and then choose the right form. It happens fast in conversation, so mistakes are super common.
I still sometimes catch myself about to say she have when I am speaking quickly, like my mouth wants to say it before my brain can stop me. Does that happen to you too?
Oh, absolutely. And this is normal, Blake. In many languages, verbs do not change based on who is doing the action, so our brains fight against this pattern at first. It feels unnecessary. But English loves this little switch.
Wait, I just realized something. We've been talking about these words like they only mean ownership, but that is not true, right? Like, I have a dog is about owning or possessing something, but there are other uses too.
Blake, you just unlocked the next level. Yes, have and has also help us talk about experiences and things we have done in our lives. They create connections between the past and the present moment.
Okay, give me an example. I want to hear how this sounds.
Sure, I have visited Paris twice. She has seen that movie 5 times. Notice how these sentences feel different from I visited Paris or she saw that movie.
Yes, they feel different because they connect the past to right now, like the experience is still part of your life. It's not just a closed chapter.
Exactly. When we use have or has with a past action, we are saying the experience still matters or affects us today. It is not just a fact from history, it is part of who we are right now.
Let me try. I have lived in this city for 10 years. Does that work?
Perfect. And here's another one. He has worked at that company since 2019. Both of these sentences create a feeling of continuation. The action started before, and it is still relevant or still happening.
I love that. It's like the sentence is building a bridge between past and present. That makes have and has so much more powerful than I thought.
Yes, they really are. They are not just simple verbs. They shape how we talk about time and experience.
Let me try. I have lived in this city for 10 years. Does that work?
Perfect. And here's another one. He has worked at that company since 2019. Both of these sentences create a feeling of continuation. The action started before, and it is still relevant, or still happening.
I love that. It's like the sentence is building a bridge between past and present. That makes have and has so much more powerful than I thought.
Yes, they really are. They are not just simple verbs. They shape how we talk about time and experience.
Okay, real talk. Do you ever start a sentence and then stop because you're not sure if you should say have or has? Like you open your mouth and then your brain just freezes.
Or maybe you say one and then immediately wonder if it was correct. Like you keep going, but part of your brain is still stuck on that word, questioning everything.
Yes, I do this at least once a day. Sometimes I will say something perfectly fine, but then I replay it in my head and convince myself I made a mistake.
This doubt is actually a sign of progress, though. It means we are paying attention to our language. We care about getting it right. That is a good thing, even if it feels uncomfortable.
True, and the goal is to make it feel automatic, right? So we do not have to think so hard every time. We just speak and trust ourselves.
Exactly. Now let me ask you, Blake, what about had? Where does that fit in? How does it feel different from have and has?
Okay, so had feels like the past version, something that happened before and is completely finished now, like it is not touching the present anymore.
Yes, had is the past form of both have and has. And here's the good news. It stays the same for everyone. No switching, no special rules based on the subject.
Wait, so whether I'm talking about myself or someone else, I always use had. That's actually kind of nice. One less thing to worry about.
Exactly. I had, you had, he had, she had, it had, we had, they had. It's the same word every single time.
Let me try some examples. I had a great weekend. She had a headache yesterday. They had a meeting last Tuesday. All of these feel clearly in the past.
Perfect. And here's one more. We had coffee together before the event started. Notice how all of these sentences are in the past with no connection to now?
Yes, they are closed moments, finished, done, not affecting today.
Right. And this is the key difference. Had belongs entirely to the past, while have and has connect past and present. That's how we know which one to use.
Okay, but what about sentences like, I had already finished my homework when my friend called? That feels different. It's not just simple past, there's something else happening there.
Ah, yes, good catch. This is a special use of had that shows one past action happened before another past action. It helps us organize events in time, especially when the order matters.
So I had finished, and then my friend called. Had finished came first in time.
Exactly. Had finished happened earlier, and then the phone call happened after. It helps us organize events in time, especially when telling stories or explaining what happened.
That's actually really useful. It makes the order of events clear without having to say, first I did this, then I did that. The grammar does the work for us.
Yes, in casual conversation, we don't always need this level of detail, but it appears often in storytelling and explanations. It keeps things organized.
Okay, I want to share something. Last month, I was talking to a colleague and I wanted to explain why I missed a meeting. I said I had another appointment, but I felt like it did not sound right. It bothered me all day.
What were you trying to say? Like, what was the situation?
I meant the appointment happened at the same time as the meeting, not before it. So saying had made it sound like the appointment was already over, maybe.
In this case, I had another appointment actually works fine. It means you were scheduled for something else. But if you wanted to make the timeline clearer, you could say, I had scheduled another appointment earlier that week.
Oh, so had scheduled shows the scheduling happened before the meeting. That adds more context.
Exactly. It gives people the full picture. It explains why you were not available.
This makes so much sense now. I was overthinking it.
You know what is funny? There is a common mistake learners make. Some people say, I had a question, when they mean I have a question right now. The meaning changes completely.
Oh, had makes it sound like the question is not important anymore, like I used to have a question, but now I do not. But have shows it's still active, still something I need answered.
Exactly. Here's another one. He had a car versus he has a car.
So had means he doesn't have it anymore. Maybe he sold it or it broke down. But has means he still owns it right now.
Yes, and this small difference completely changes the meaning. In real conversations, these tiny shifts matter because they affect how people understand our situation.
This is making me think about all the times I might have confused people without realizing it. Like I thought I was being clear, but maybe I wasn't.
It happens to everyone, Blake. Don't worry.
Hey, let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted to say something in English but stopped yourself because you were not sure which word to use? Like you had the idea, but the grammar blocked you.
Oh, yes, this happens to everyone. And it's okay to simplify sometimes. We don't always need perfect grammar to communicate. The message matters most.
Yesterday, I wanted to tell my friend about a book I finished, but I hesitated between I have read and I read, and I just stopped. So I ended up just showing her the book cover instead.
That's actually a smart workaround. But it's also nice to feel confident enough to express ourselves fully, right? To not have to rely on shortcuts all the time.
Yes, that is why we are having this conversation, to remove the fear and build real confidence, so we can say what we want without hesitation.
With a little practice, these words will start flowing naturally, and you will stop overthinking. I promise.
Okay, let's take a quick pause here. I want to look at some helpful words and phrases that came up in our conversation, because I think if we understand these, everything will stick better.
Yes, I love this idea. Let's do it. These words show up all the time with have, has, and had. So knowing them will make you feel more confident when you are speaking or writing.
All right, first word, own. This is similar to have, but it focuses specifically on things that belong to us legally or personally, like things we actually possess as ours.
Good example. They own a house by the lake. You can also say they have a house and both work, but own emphasizes possession. It makes it clear that the house belongs to them.
Exactly. Next one is possess. This is a more formal way to say have. You hear it more in writing or official contexts.
Yes, she possesses incredible talent. In everyday conversation, we usually just say have, but possess appears in books, reports, legal documents, things like that.
Now, let's talk about experience. This is a word we often pair with have or has, like I have experience teaching children, or he has experience in design.
Good examples. And experience can be a noun or a verb, so paying attention to context helps us understand which one is being used. This word appears constantly in job interviews and professional conversations.
Oh yes, all the time. Next word is already. We use this with have or has to show something happened before now. It's like confirming completion.
Right. I have already eaten lunch, or she has already left the office. Already creates a sense of completion and often answers an unspoken question like, did you eat? Or is she still here?
Then we have yet. This appears in questions and negative sentences with have or has. It's super common in everyday English.
Yes, have you finished yet? Or, I have not called her yet. Yet shows we are waiting for something to happen or checking if it has happened.
I use this one all the time. Okay, next is since. This marks a starting point in time. It tells us when something began.
I have worked here since 2020. She has studied English since January. Since tells us when the action began and implies it continues to the present. It's still happening.
And then there's for, which shows duration or length of time. This one confuses people sometimes because since and for seem similar, but they're different.
Yes, we have known each other for 8 years. He has lived there for 6 months. For measures the amount of time, not the starting point.
Right. So since marks a point in time, while for marks a period or stretch of time. That is the important difference.
Next one is recently. We use this with have or has to talk about something that happened in the near past. Not yesterday or last week necessarily, but not long ago.
I have recently started running. They have recently adopted a dog. Recently keeps the action connected to the present moment. It feels fresh and current.
Exactly. And then we have ever, which we use in questions to ask about lifetime experiences. This is such a useful word.
Have you ever been to Egypt? Has he ever tried skydiving? Ever means at any time in your entire life up to now. It is asking about the whole timeline.
I love that word. It opens up big conversations. Now let's talk about just. We often use this with have or has to show something happened very recently, almost moments ago.
I have just finished my report. She has just arrived. Just creates urgency and immediacy. It's like saying, this happened so close to now that it's still warm.
I love that description. And finally, let's mention used to. This is different from had, but it also refers to the past, so people sometimes mix them up.
Yes, used to describes habits and states that are no longer true, things that were part of our life before but are not anymore.
I used to play piano. She used to live in Berlin. Both of these sentences tell us something changed. The action or situation stopped.
Right, and used to and had are not interchangeable, even though both relate to the past. Used to is about habits and states. Had is about possession or actions in the past.
Exactly. Recognizing these differences helps us communicate more precisely. It gives us more control over what we're saying and how people understand us.
I feel like we just covered a lot in a short amount of time, but these words are going to make everything easier. Trust me.
Blake, let's imagine something. The viewer is at a party and someone walks up and asks, "Have you lived in this city for a long time?" What could they say?
Oh, this is such a common question. The viewer can answer naturally with, yes, I have lived here for 5 years, or maybe, no, I've only been here for a few months. Both answers feel relaxed and conversational.
Exactly. And they could also add more detail if they want, like, I had lived in another city before this one and I moved here last year. That gives people more context about their story.
I like that. Using had lived shows the previous situation. Medium pause. It makes the story clearer. It helps people understand the timeline without having to explain every single detail.
Yes, these small details help people understand our journey and connect with us. It's not just grammar, it's sharing who we are.
Now, let's imagine a work scenario. Medium pause. A manager asks, have you completed the task I assigned yesterday? What is a good response?
The viewer can respond, yes, I have finished it, and I have sent you the results. Or if they're still working on it, they could say, I have not finished it yet, but I have made good progress and will complete it by tomorrow.
This kind of response feels professional and clear. It gives information without sounding defensive.
They might also explain, I had planned to finish it yesterday, but I had an urgent meeting that took longer than expected. Using had planned and had a meeting shows responsibility and gives context without making excuses.
Yes, it is honest and mature. It explains what happened without blaming anyone.
Let's shift to a personal situation. Imagine the viewer is talking to a family member who asks, "How has your week been?" This is such a normal question, right?
Oh yes, all the time. They could say, "It has been really busy. I have had a lot of deadlines, but I have also had some nice moments with friends." That gives a balanced picture of the week.
Or they could say, "It has been tiring because I have not had much time to rest." These responses are honest and use have and has to describe current experiences, not just past events.
Right. And sharing our real feelings in these conversations builds deeper connections. It's not just small talk, it's actually meaningful.
Exactly. Now I want to ask the viewer something. Pause for a moment and think about your own life. What is one thing you have accomplished recently that made you feel proud?
Or maybe something you had wanted to do for a long time and finally did. Take a second, think about it. It doesn't have to be big or perfect.
Connecting grammar to personal experiences makes it meaningful, not mechanical. Let me share my own answer. I have started waking up earlier this month, and it has given me more time to read in the morning. It's a small change, but it makes me happy.
I love that. Here's mine. Here I had been avoiding a difficult conversation with my sister. I kept putting it off because I was nervous, but last week I finally talked to her and it went better than I expected.
These small personal victories matter, and being able to express them clearly in English adds even more satisfaction. It's like the language helps us share the moment with others.
Yes. Now, let's talk about everyday conversations. People often ask simple questions like, "Have you eaten?" or "Have you been to that new cafe?" These questions happen all the time.
The viewer can answer with, "Yes, I have," or "No, I have not, but I've heard it's really good." Short, simple, natural, no stress.
And sometimes people ask, "Did you have a good day?" The viewer can say, "Yes, I had a wonderful day. I had lunch with a friend and had time to walk in the park." It's casual, but still uses the grammar we've been talking about.
These exchanges happen constantly, in coffee shops, at work, with neighbors, with family, and feeling comfortable with have, has, and had makes social interactions flow smoothly.
It removes that hesitation, that moment when you want to say something, but you stop yourself because you're not sure if the grammar is correct. When you know these words, you just speak.
Exactly. And here's the thing. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start using these words in your daily life without fear.
Small steps lead to big confidence. Try one sentence today, then another tomorrow. It builds up naturally.
And before you know it, you will not even think about it anymore. It will just flow.
This has been such a helpful conversation. I feel like we covered so much, but it all makes sense now. My brain feels more organized.
I agree. Let's quickly review the main points so everything stays clear. Just a quick summary to lock it all in.
All right. Have and has do the same job, but have works with I, you, we, and they. Has works with he, she, and it. That is the basic pattern.
Once this pattern becomes automatic, you will not need to think about it anymore. It will just happen naturally when you speak or write. Your brain will choose the right one without effort.
And remember, have and has help us talk about things we own, experiences we have had, and actions that started in the past but still connect to now. They're not just about possession.
Exactly. I have known her for years. That sentence shows a relationship that continues today. It is not finished. It is still part of my life right now.
Then we have had, which is the past version. And it works the same for everyone. No exceptions, no changes. I had, you had, he had, she had. Always the same.
I had a great time last night. They had questions during the meeting. Both of these use had to show completed past events, things that are finished and not touching the present anymore.
And had is also useful when we need to show that one past action happened before another. Like, I had already left when you called. That makes the order super clear.
Yes, this helps organize time clearly when telling stories or giving explanations. It keeps everything in the right sequence so people can follow along easily.
Now, I want to say something important. Mistakes are part of the journey. Even Zara and I make them regularly. We are not perfect either.
The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress and growing confidence. You are allowed to make mistakes. That is how we learn and improve.
You already invested time in understanding these words today. That's a meaningful step forward. You showed up, you paid attention, you tried.
And every time you use have, has, or had in real life, in a text, in a conversation, in an email, you're strengthening your skills. You are practicing in the real world, and that is what matters most.
Be kind to yourself. Celebrate every small success. Notice when you use these words correctly. Give yourself credit for trying.
You are capable, you are learning, and you are ready to use these words naturally in your life. We believe in you.
Okay, before we finish, I have one question I really want you to answer. And I mean it. I genuinely want to know.
I love reading the comments because it creates a real community of people supporting each other. It's not just us talking, it's all of us learning together.
So, here's the question. What is one thing you have done this week that made you feel proud, big or small? Think about it for a second.
Maybe you had a conversation in English, or maybe you had the courage to try something new. We want to hear about it. Seriously, share it with us.
It could be finishing a project, cooking a meal, reaching out to a friend, or even just taking time to rest and recharge. Whatever it is, we want to celebrate it with you.
Share your answer in the comments below. We'll read and appreciate every single response. It means so much to us when you engage with our videos like this.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Zara and I create conversations like this every week to help learners feel confident and comfortable with English.
Clicking the like button helps other people discover our videos too. It really makes a difference. It helps us reach more people who need this kind of support.
We'll see you very soon in the next conversation. Until then, keep practicing, keep trying, keep being kind to yourself.
Take care of yourself and keep moving forward with confidence. You're doing great.